Tonight, as you settle into rest, we invite you to journey into the mythic world of ancient Crete. The tale of Talos, the bronze guardian of Crete, awaits, a story of a powerful being crafted by the gods themselves. Discover the life of Talos, the steadfast protector who watches over the island with unwavering vigilance, and encounter the renowned Argonauts on their fateful journey. Let your mind drift and your thoughts soften as we venture into this world of legend and mystery. And now, let the tale unfold. In the heart of the celestial realm there resided a divine blacksmith whose skill was unparalleled, Hephaestus, the god of the forge. It was here, amidst the constant rhythm of clanging metal and glowing embers, that he received a divine commission. Zeus, the king of the gods, had tasked him with creating a new protector for the island of Crete. This was not just any task. It was a mandate from the highest authority in the pantheon, underscoring the importance of Crete within the tapestry of the divine realm. With purpose and precision, Hephaestus gathered the finest bronze from his workshop, each piece shimmering with a luminescent glow under the soft twilight. As he toiled, the sound of hammer against metal reverberated throughout the forge, a harmonious melody born from dedication and divine will. The god's hands moved with an artistry that spoke of ages of mastery, transforming raw metal into a form that was both magnificent and imposing. This was to be Talos, a towering guardian of bronze, whose very presence would deter any threats to the sacred island. The process was intricate and filled with divine craftsmanship. Hephaestus carefully hammered, molding the bronze into a colossal form that resembled a mighty warrior, an image designed to inspire awe and respect. Each blow of the hammer was deliberate, reverberating with a rhythm that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the earth itself. As the form of Talos began to emerge, one could sense the embodiment of both strength and loyalty crafted into every sinew of this metallic giant. Hephaestus was meticulous in his design, and one feature required particular attention: Talos's singular vein. This vein, stretching from his neck to his ankle, was essential for carrying the ichor, the sacred lifeblood of the gods. With a steady hand, Hephaestus forged and sealed this vein with a sturdy bronze nail, ensuring that Talos's life force flowed through him unobstructed. It was a vital aspect of the design, a testament to Hephaestus's ingenuity and the divine blessing imparted upon the giant. With the structural form completed, the time came to infuse this guardian with life. Hephaestus filled Talos's heart with ichor, the golden fluid that whispered of the god's immortal nature. This was not just a spark of life, but a connection to the gods themselves, granting Talos the ability to fulfill his divine purpose. The god of the forge paused and, with a breath, summoned the life force to animate this formidable protector, imbuing him with an unerring sense of purpose. As if awakening from a long slumber, Talos stirred, his bronze body gleaming under the subdued light of the forge. His form was grand, a marvel befitting the skill of a god. Every joint, every indentation on his form, bore the testament of Hephaestus's unparalleled craftsmanship. Talos's eyes, though crafted from metal, seemed to carry a spark of awareness and determination, a subtle reminder of his divine origin and the godly ichor that fueled his existence. With the creation complete, Hephaestus sent Talos forth to Crete. The giant's steps were heavy yet purposeful, each one echoing with a profound sense of duty as he embarked on his journey. As the shores of Crete came into view, Talos understood his role. This island would be his charge, its safety his solemn pledge. He was a monument to craftsmanship and divine intent, a protector who would stand against any invaders set upon Crete's shores. As Talos stood upon the shores, the ambient hum of mythic energy filled the air, signaling the start of his unwavering vigil. The island, once susceptible to the whims of invaders, now had a guardian as steadfast as the gods themselves. Talos, forged of bronze and purpose, had found his place, tasked with the timeless duty of watching over Crete with an unfaltering gaze. Talos, the bronze sentinel created by Hephaestus, began his eternal vigil on the island of Crete. Tasked with protecting its shores, Talos's journey as a guardian was both solitary and essential. As the first light of the day cast its gentle glow upon the shoreline, Talos awoke from his brief rest, aware of his duty. His massive bronze figure gleamed in the sunlight as he took his initial strides along the coast, each step carrying him steadily over the sandy terrain. 3 times a day, like the steady passage of time itself, Talos circled the island. His vigilant eyes scanned the horizon and beyond, ever watchful for ships that might seek to bring harm to the peaceful land he was sworn to protect. His presence, towering and formidable, was enough to deter many who might harbor ill intentions. The sound of distant waves accompanied his patrol, a constant melody that mirrored his unwavering dedication. As he journeyed along the perimeter of Crete, Talos carried stones of immense size, placed strategically along his path. These stones, heavy and daunting, were the armor he wielded against any threat that dared approach. With a strength unparalleled, he could launch these stones with great accuracy to disrupt the path of any incoming vessels. The tales of this formidable bronze giant spread far and wide, warning those who might contemplate an invasion. Under the watchful gaze of Talos, the people of Crete knew a peace rarely afforded to their counterparts across the seas. They flourished in safety, their daily lives unaffected by external conflicts. Talos's silent vigil allowed the island's inhabitants to thrive, their lives enriched by prosperity and stability. The serenity he provided was not just a matter of physical security, but also an unseen assurance, a pledge that the island was never truly alone. Through sunlit days and starlit nights, Talos embraced his role with an unwavering loyalty that was forged into his very being. His mission, imparted to him by the divine Hephaestus, was more than a duty. It was his essence. Driven by purpose and the ichor that coursed through his veins, Talos remained steadfast, a living monument to the ingenuity of his creator. The island's tranquility was a testament to his watchfulness, a seamless blend of man-made marvel and divine intention. Despite his tireless dedication, even a guardian of bronze required moments of repose. Yet, these periods of rest were fleeting, mere pauses in an ongoing narrative of vigilance. The brief spans when Talos ceased his circuit were spent contemplating the vastness of the sea, the boundary he was sworn to defend. Yet, even in those moments of quiet, his senses remained attuned to the whispers of the sea breeze and the murmurs of distant waters. For the people of Crete, Talos was a guardian, a myth come to life, whose existence bordered on the divine. The tales of his protection were whispered among families, a calming assurance passed from one generation to the next. The island's security was reflected not only in their way of life, but also in their understanding of what it meant to have a protector, constant, eternal, and valiant. Yet despite this peace and the happiness it brought to Crete, Talos' vigilant presence had begun to draw attention. Stories of the bronze giant standing stalwart over the island reached far across the seas. Sailors and travelers carried these tales to lands beyond, and with the retelling, a curiosity was sparked. While the island enjoyed its prosperity, the notion of a guardian, so strong and unwavering, ignited the imagination of those who dared to dream of distant shores and adventures yet to be undertaken. Talos's perpetual presence was a living testament to the meeting of divine crafts and human needs. As he moved along the weathered coastlines, his figure was illuminated by the glow of the eternal summer sun, casting elongated shadows that seemed to stretch to the ends of the earth. His story, etched in the annals of Crete's history, was a saga of protection, of silent reassurance against the tides of uncertainty that the world beyond its shores often brought. As the day waned and the sun dipped below the horizon, Talos continued his patrol. His bronze silhouette was a steadfast emblem against the evening sky, a constant that mirrored the island's serene nights. And though his journey as Crete's protector was far from over, the attention of the wider world had been irrevocably captured, heralding encounters and challenges that lay on the distant horizon. Ready to test his unyielding dedication once more, the expansive sea surrounding Crete was a timeless guardian, its gentle waves whispering a song of ancient myths. As dusk painted the skies with shades of gray and silver, a ship named Argo cut across the dark blue waters, her sails turned towards Crete. These were the famed Argonauts, weary yet filled with purpose, having journeyed through myriad adventures in search of the elusive Golden Fleece. Under the leadership of Jason, their eyes now fell upon the distant shores of Crete, shimmering faintly under the waning light. Relief washed over them as they approached, the prospect of land providing a bitter respite to the relentless challenge of the open sea. Talos, the mighty bronze giant, stood on vigilant watch along the coastline of Crete. His immense form was an awe-inspiring sight, a sentinel ordained by the gods themselves. From afar, his gaze fell upon the Argo as it drew closer, his unwavering duty compelling him to guard the island against any who approached unannounced. He took in the scene before him with unblinking eyes, assessing the vessel and the figures upon it. The sea was no stranger to wayfarers, but each approach warranted scrutiny, and Talos was ever ready to fulfill his divine purpose. As the Argo neared, the Argonauts could see the silhouette of Talos against the dimming sky. A wave of caution rippled through the crew, their previous relief now tempered with concern. They recognized the towering figure from tales told across the lands, a bronze giant, formidable and relentless, whose allegiance lay solely with the protection of Crete. This was no ordinary challenge they faced, but an embodiment of ancient power and unwavering vigilance. Impassively, Talos regarded the strangers who dared near Crete. As they came within range, he displayed his might with a calm yet commanding gesture, lifting giant stones as if they weighed nothing. With precision tempered by centuries of practice, he cast them towards the sea, a formidable warning to the nearing vessel. The stones splashed into the water, sending ripples across the surface, a clear signal that approaching any closer would invite his formidable strength. The Argonauts, undeterred but mindful of the threat, gathered on deck to deliberate their next move. Theirs was a quest entwined with divine favor and guided by the hands of fate, yet here they met a challenge that invoked a need for wisdom beyond mere courage. Jason, their leader, convened with his companions, each offering thoughts on how to bypass the unyielding guardian. It was evident that force would not avail them, not against a protector forged by the divine craft of Hephaestus. Among the Argonauts was Medea, the daughter of King Aeetes of Colchis, and a sorceress of renowned skill and insight. Her presence in their ranks was a boon, a testament to their extraordinary endeavor. She listened to the discussions, her sharp mind analyzing the nature of Talos's steadfast determination. Knowing the roots of magic and the marrow of legends, Medea formulated a plan, a strategy that called neither for battle nor brute strength, but for an understanding of Talos's essence as a creature of myth. Medea proposed her plan to the gathered crew, her voice calm and deliberate, as was her nature. She spoke of enchantments and the subtle arts she had mastered, suggesting a way to address the bronze giant without incurring his wrath. Her proposal, laden with wisdom and mystery, found an attentive audience in the Argonauts, who trusted her judgment implicitly. The crew, contemplating her words, realized that the path before them was lined with both intrigue and challenge, demanding both courage and guile. With a shared sense of purpose, the Argonauts prepared to follow Medea's lead, understanding that their endeavor required both strength of arm and subtlety of spirit. The stage was set for a meeting of ancient craft and new resolve, as the tranquil sea bore witness to the unfolding of another chapter in the epic journey of Jason and his companions. The Argonauts, now poised for the encounter, held a quiet confidence and a cautious hope. They had overcome the wrath of kings and the perils of untamed lands, and here before them was yet another test of their collective resolve. As dusk and shadows lengthened and the sea whispered its timeless tune, they steeled themselves for what lay ahead, embracing the uncertainties with the resilience that had carried them thus far. As the last glow of twilight faded over the horizon, the Argonauts remained anchored near the coast of Crete. An air of anxiety hung thickly around them, for on the shore stood Talos, the immense bronze guardian. In this tense moment, it was Medea who emerged as the beacon of hope. Her knowledge of ancient magic, culled from years of study and a lineage deeply entwined with the divine, became the crew's most promising asset. With her wisdom, she would try to guide the Argonauts safely past the vigilant sentinel. Medea began by summoning her thoughts, recalling the arcane teachings that had been part of her upbringing. This was no ordinary adversary. Talos was a creation of the gods, and brute force alone would not overcome such a spellbound entity. Delving into her memory, she formulated a plan. The giant before them was both magnificent and formidable, but Medea, with her keen insight, was aware that every creation held a vulnerability, even one as imposing as Talos. With the Argonauts looking on, Medea prepared herself for the enchantment. She moved to the water's edge, the soft whispers of the sea harmonizing with her own thoughts. Her fingers traced patterns mid-air, each motion aligning with the cadence of a well-honed incantation. The scent of burning herbs wafted around her, carried by the gentle night breeze. Her focus was unwavering, guided by a determination to see through the vision she had grasped so clearly. The key, she believed, was not in overpowering Talos, but in pacifying the Guardian's unrest. As she worked, Medea contemplated the art of her craft, where knowledge met mystery, and wisdom wove reality into the improbable. Indeed, it was here that magic held its quiet strength, a force not of loud confrontation, but of whispered persuasion. She identified Talos's singular weakness, a chink in the armor of even the most relentless protector. It was in his very construction, hidden yet integral, that his undoing lay. The night enfolded around her as Medea invoked her spells. Ancient words drifted from her lips, imbued with power born from confidence and heritage. Her voice, soft yet commanding, reached across the water, weaving through the dense shroud of mist that cloaked the scene. With precision, she directed her enchantment towards Talos, seeking to reach the core of his being. The air seemed to ripple as Medea approached the shore, her feet finding purchase on the damp sand. Her confidence was palpable, a testament to both her strategic mind and the centuries of magic that coursed through her veins. The sound of the waves mirrored her rhythmic chanting, creating a symphony of nature and enchantment that set the stage for the momentous encounter. Talos, the colossal sentinel, was transfixed by her presence. The enchantress's spell was not a clashing of wills, but rather a gentle song that lulled the giant into a suspended state. His mighty form, normally driven by purpose and vigilance, came to a silent halt. For the first time, the constant sentry seemed to waver, his focus disrupted by a power subtle yet profound. As Medea's incantation took hold, Talos stood immobilized, held by the enchantment that spiraled around him like an invisible chain. The Argonauts watched from their vessel, anxious yet hopeful. They understood then that Medea's plan was unfolding just as she had promised. It was a demonstration of magic's tranquil might, one that did not shatter but reshaped the reality before them. The crew, witnessing the effect of the enchantment, acknowledged the shift in their fortunes. Medea had woven a spell that turned the tide, creating an opportunity where none seemed possible. Her strategic mind and magical prowess had given them a path forward, one that respected the colossal form of Talos while gently sidestepping his watchful nature. The night around them remained serene, a testament to the power of subtleties artfully applied. In this moment, the distant echo of a guardian's inevitability resonated over the water. Talos, caught in the enchanting threads of Medea's influence, marked the dawn of a pivotal shift in the mythic tale unfolding before the Argonauts. In the stillness of the Cretan night, the air was thick with anticipation. Along the quiet rocky beach, the Argonauts stood just beyond the reach of the towering bronze giant, Talos. Under the ethereal glow of the moon, his metallic surface shimmered like a colossal sentinel frozen in time. Across the gentle waves, Medea's enchantment hung as a delicate web, ensnaring Talos in a mystical paralysis. Her eyes, bright with the light of otherworldly wisdom, were fixed on the figure before them, knowing that in the stillness lay the key to overcoming this formidable guardian of Crete. With a commanding presence, Medea revealed to Jason and the Argonauts the single vulnerability of the great Talos, his Achilles' heel, so to speak. This vulnerability took the form of a simple bronze nail embedded in his ankle, the one point on his entire form where his divine life fluid, ichor, could be released. The gods had fashioned him strong, yet this singular weakness was a fault line in his otherwise unyielding form. Her voice, calm and steady, unraveled the secret that had remained hidden beneath the layers of his bronze skin, echoing the fatefulness of their undertaking. Medea's enchantment, a melodic incantation carried by the night breeze, held Talos in a state of suspension. This immobility, both magical and mechanical, rendered the giant as passive as a statue. The very air around Talos seemed to pause, drawing in a quiet breath as bolts of lightning might be held in a cloud, ready to unleash their power but stilled by invisible chains. Here, atop the sandy shore, the elements converged around Talos in an ethereal embrace, a reminder of both his might and fragility. Breaking from their formation, the Argonauts gathered in a cautious circle around Medea. She meticulously described their next steps, choosing her words with precision as she instructed them how to approach Talos and use this knowledge to their advantage. Each Argonaut knew their role in the delicate operation, a coordinated effort of strength and subtlety, necessity balanced by the solemnity of their task. They understood that within their grasp lay the turning point of this ordeal, dependent on the precision of their actions under the guidance of their sorceress companion. With steady hands and pounding hearts, the Argonauts moved forward, crossing the boundary of magic that Medea had so effectively cast. Their movements were hushed, no louder than the whispering sea, as they close in on the bronze giant's vulnerable ankle. Not a breath was wasted nor a word spoken as they worked together in silent concert. A shared understanding and respect for Talos's silent power drew them closer to this moment of fate, a finely poised act of both loyalty and necessity. Under the vigilant watch of Medea, their guiding star, the crew began their fragile task. Her gaze never wavered, steady as a lighthouse in the storm. As she directed Jason's hand to the bronze nail, her confidence infused him with courage, and with a careful twist, they began the slow, deliberate process of removing what anchored the life force. The mighty Talos. Each turn exacted a shared breath, each moment a nervous occupation of balance between success and calamity. As the nail slowly released its hold, the ichor, shimmering like liquid gold, began to flow from Talos's wound. The divine lifeblood held back for so long mirrored the stars above as it traced rivulets into the sand, a reminder of his godly origins. The ground beneath quivered under the metallurgical titan as if resonating with a rhythm only the earth itself could feel. This flow signified the gentle but inexorable surrender of Talos's strength, a power now yielding to the designs of mortals and the sorcery of Medea. The world around Talos seemed to shudder with him, a tense acknowledgement of the shift in destiny. His immense form, for so long a daunting bastion of protection, began to tremble with the release of the ichor. The very essence of his being, as stalwart and unbending as any force of nature, slowly ebbed, like a river parting from its source. This event, quiet yet profound, marked the beginning of the end for the venerable guardian of Crete. In those fragile moments, the once indomitable Talos began to falter. The inevitability of change was now upon him, reflecting the nature of all things, not destruction, but transformation. Ever still in the gentle rain, he stood as if one with the earth and sky, his fate interlinked with the stars above him. And with this solemn act, the Argonauts honored the giant's purpose, preparing to witness the close of this mythical chapter. On the quiet rocky beach of Crete, as the gentle waves caressed the shore, a somber scene unfolded. The Argonauts, led by Jason and guided by the enchantress Medea, stood back as the mighty Talos, the bronze giant who had faithfully guarded the island, began to experience the inevitable loss of the divine ichor that coursed through him. This life fluid, now escaping through the loosened nail at his ankle, marked the beginning of his end. His towering form, once filled with unparalleled strength and unyielding vigilance, seemed to dim as the ichor drained steadily, like a stream slowly relinquishing its life-sustaining flow. Medea's incantation had done its work, and now she watched with a deep, knowing gaze. Talos, despite his massive frame, started to lose the vitality that had defined his very essence. The ichor, golden and shimmering, pooled momentarily at his foot before being absorbed by the sand, the earth reclaiming what was once the gift of the gods. With each passing moment, the energy that had animated him over the ages waned, and he swayed ever so slightly, teetering on the brink of collapse. As the Argonauts observed in respectful silence, the reality of their actions settled heavily over them. The mighty Talos, who had tirelessly circled the island thrice each day, scanning the horizons and ensuring the safety of Crete, was now faltering. His towering presence, which had long deterred those who would threaten the island, trembled as he tried to maintain his stance, wielding the last of his remaining strength. The Argonauts, known for their courage and adventures, stood as both spectators and participants in this turning point. They had ventured far and encountered many beings throughout their quests, but this event carried a weight unlike any other. Jason, their leader, felt the profound impact of the moment. Here was a guardian, crafted by divine hands, brought low by mortal intervention. The air surrounding them, once filled with the rhythmic hum of Talos's movement, was now still and expectant. In Talos's final moments, the gentle hum that had been a constant companion to his vigil began to fade. It was a sound that echoed not just around them, but in the hearts of those who lived under his protection. The bronze giant seemed to acknowledge his impending end with a depth of understanding, as though he perceived the broader tapestry of his existence and the purpose he had served. The beach, quiet and contemplative, bore witness to the end of this era, the only sounds being the lapping waves whispering old stories to the shore. With a deep, resounding groan, Talos's immense form gave in to gravity and time. It was a gradual surrender, a controlled collapse where dignity prevailed even in defeat. As this immense figure met the sands, a surge of dust danced up into the overcast sky, mingling with the cool early winter air. The earth shook briefly, acknowledging the fall of a being who had for ages been both a part of it and a protector against its own harshness. The dust settled slowly, revealing the still form of Talos. A bronze sentinel now at rest, his limbs lay scattered against the muted silver of the morning light. It was an image that captured the finality of his vigil, an end that spoke to the ceaseless passage of time and the inevitable change it brings. Talos, who once stood as an emblem of divine craftsmanship and resolute guardianship, now lay as a testament to the legend that had reached its conclusion. With reverence, the Argonauts moved away from the scene, each feeling the historical weight of the event. They understood that this moment would ripple through the tapestry of myth and legend. In the serene silence that followed, the Argonauts could feel the presence of something greater, something timeless woven into the sands of Crete. Talos' watch had ended, but his story, his legacy, would echo for eternity on the winds of the island he loved. The legend of Talos, the watchful guardian of Crete, had come to a close. Yet, his role as protector and symbol of eternal vigilance would find life beyond his final act. As dawn's gentle light began to wash over the fallen guardian, a soft sense of reflection settled over the island. The gentle breath of the sea and the resilient sands embraced the bronze figure, carrying with them the tale of protection and loyalty that would endure beyond the rise and fall of any individual. Sentinel, as the first light of dawn cast its gentle hues over the quiet coastal village of Crete, the somber reality of Talos' fall slowly began to settle over the island. The once vigilant bronze guardian now lay motionless along the shore, his colossal form a testament to the end of an era. The people of Crete gathered solemnly by the sea, where Talos had served them faithfully for countless years. In hushed conversations, they spoke of his eternal watch and how he had protected them with unwavering dedication. The islanders, young and old alike, were drawn to the shore, each bearing flower garlands and torches, the flickering flames reflecting off the gentle rolling waves. As they looked upon the fallen guardian, questions about the future safety of the island arose. Without Talos' ever watchful gaze, the security that once enveloped Crete now seemed vulnerable. The thought of an unguarded island filled the hearts of many with apprehension, yet they also recognized the need to adapt and find strength within themselves. In the midst of the gathering, Europa, the queen of Crete, stepped forward. Her presence was serene yet commanding, her eyes reflecting both grief and resilience. With a voice that carried both sorrow and hope, she addressed her people, urging them to honor the legacy of Talos by embracing the spirit of unity and courage. Europa spoke of the strength that resided within each of them, a strength that could rise to the challenge of protecting their cherished land. Her words provided a soothing balm to the aching hearts, inspiring determination among the islanders. Meanwhile, the Argonauts too gathered on the beach, witnessing the mourning and offering their sympathies. Jason, the leader of the Argonauts, stood quietly among them, his gaze thoughtful as he pondered the cost of their journey and Medea's critical involvement in Talos' fate. The bronze giant's fall was undeniably entwined with their quest, a reminder of the power and consequence that accompanied their adventure. Jason's heart weighed heavy with the understanding of the delicate balance between success and sacrifice. Not far off, Medea found herself deep in reflection. The sorceress, whose strategic actions had led to the Guardian's downfall, contemplated the force she had wielded. She understood the profound nature of her power, both a gift and a burden, capable of shaping destinies and altering the course of history. As she gazed upon the grieving islanders, Medea found herself contemplating not just the events that had transpired, but the weight of her intervention in the eternal dance of myth and consequence. To honor the years of devoted service that Talos had given, a funeral procession was organized, highlighting the esteem in which the bronze giant was held. The islanders, clad in traditional garb, paraded along the coastline, the sound of soft chants filling the air. Talos' memory was cherished in every step, every whispered prayer, and every shared story of his bravery and loyalty. It was a ritual not only of farewell but of remembrance, ensuring that Talos' legacy would live on in the heart of Crete. In the days that followed, Crete began to grapple with the reality of life after Talos. The absence of their vigilant protector left a palpable void, and the islanders faced the challenge of adjusting to newfound vulnerability. Yet from this vulnerability emerged a spirit of resilience. Under Europa's guidance, the people started to devise means of safeguarding their island, incorporating lessons learned from their bronze guardians' long watch. As dusk began to settle once more over the tranquil village, the whisper of waves and the dim glow of torches reminded all present of the enduring bond between the island and its legendary protector. Medea, deep in thought, understood that her actions, though challenging, had opened a new chapter for Crete, one marked by introspection and growth. Through the reflective mood cast by Talos' fall, the island of Crete stood at a crossroads. The legacy of the Bronze Guardian was etched into their history, a reminder of protection, vigilance, and the power of mythic presence. In the days to come, they would carry forth the lessons learned from Talos into a new era, stepping forward with the wisdom of those who had known both the steadfast watch of a guardian and the limitless possibility of their own fortitude. As the light from the flickering bonfire danced across the faces of the gathered villagers, the reality of Talos' absence began to settle on the island of Crete. The bronze giant, crafted by Hephaestus and imbued with purpose to guard the island, had been a steadfast symbol of protection. His tireless watchfulness had marked years of peace and security, and now, his legend lay in the hearts of those he once shielded. The villagers, young and old, sat together, shrouded in thoughtful silence, contemplating the legacy of their fallen protector. In myths, figures like Talos stand as beacons, their stories etched into the collective memory of cultures for the lessons they offer. Reflecting on Talos' role, the Cretans saw the enduring pattern woven by mythical protectors across ages. These figures, human or divine, arise from the need for security amidst uncertainty, reiterating time and again the theme of guardianship as a noble pursuit. Wherever a society confronted challenges, tales of similar protectors emerged, forming a patchwork of myths that crossed borders and timelines. In doing so, these mythical sentinels highlighted the balance between human innovation and divine intervention, offering guidance, however abstract, to those who revered them. Within this quiet reflection, the Cretans acknowledged Talos' heroism, his presence as both a creation of divine artifice and a testament to unwavering dedication. Through him, the island of Crete had seen prosperity and safety, testifying to the strength that such guardianship could bring. Stories of his patrol along the sunlit shores, his thrice daily circuits of the island, and the silent yet imposing manner in which he deterred invaders were shared anew, each retelling rich with the admiration for his tireless service. Talos, in his steadfastness, exemplified how loyalty and purpose knit closer the fabric of a community, especially against the trials brought by time and tide. Europa, the noble queen of Crete, spoke softly to her people, her words woven with wisdom and encouragement. She reminded them that while the era of Talos had reached its natural conclusion, the enduring watch of mythological figures continued to inspire and protect in different forms. The stories of past protectors were not simply tales. They were lessons lingering on the fringes of reality, ready to offer guidance and assurance in navigating the new uncertainties faced by the island. In her gentle voice, Europa invoked the resilience that lay within their collective spirit, rooted deeply in the traditions and history they held dear. As the evening wore on, the Argonauts, nestled among the villagers, began to reflect on their various journeys and the protectors they had encountered from distant lands. Each tale shared, from the snow-capped reaches of Hyperborea to the desert sands of Egypt, depicted unique guardians that championed similar values of bravery, stewardship, and sacrifice. In these stories, a sense of interconnectedness bloomed, a reminder that even across vast distances, the theme of guardianship resonated universally. It served as a bridge of understanding, linking disparate cultures through shared mythic threads that spun the fabric of collective human experience. In the warmth of the gathering fire, the symbolic nature of guardianship was pondered. Across cultures, figures of protection stood steadfast, their forms varying from towering titans to wise sages, each portraying the way societies captured their values and iconic narratives. These tales protected far more than territory. They guarded traditions, ideals, and most importantly, the hearts and minds that drew strength from their narratives. The inhabitants of Crete found solace knowing that Talos' story would echo these universal themes, and in doing so, nurture the spirit of guardianship beyond his physical presence. Drawing from the legacy of Talos, Crete's resilience was reinforced, its people inspired to continue the spirit of protection anew. Europa, joined by Jason and his fellow Argonauts, emphasized the importance of embracing this legacy, not as a shadow to live under, but as a beacon guiding them forward. The Bronze Guardian's dedication was to be mirrored by the vigilance of the people now tasked with guarding their island, armed not only with memories of their sentinel, but with an understanding of their role as inheritors of his spirit. As the stories flowed and the night deepened, a shared resolution emerged among the Cretans, a commitment to uphold the principles of guardianship in their lives. Their hearts held an abiding respect for Talos, each of them a small lighthouse of resolve and remembrance. With each passing story and shared memory, the island's collective identity grew richer, bound by a promise to safeguard the values and people they cherished. Soon, the bonfire's glow softened under the clearing night skies of winter. The gathering gradually dispersed, yet their spirits remained unified in purpose. Though Talos no longer patrolled the island's shores, his legacy ensured that the watchful gaze of protection persisted, taking root within every heart present. The island of Crete stood at the threshold of a new era, its people left to ponder the future in the absence of Talos, their once mighty bronze guardian. The legend of Talos, crafted by the hands of Hephaestus, had once imbued the island with an aura of untouchable security. Now, with his monumental form laid to rest, the Cretan people found themselves in need of new strategies to maintain their safety and prosperity. As the dust of the past settled, a collective decision grew among the Cretans to look inward, adapt, and evolve. The islanders came together with Queen Europa's guidance to reassess their defenses. Talos had been a singular force, a symbol of divine protection, but his absence urged the community to rely on their own ingenuity. Europa, with her serene wisdom, inspired her people to bolster their defenses with human effort and technology. Watchtowers began to rise along the coast, manned by vigilant sentinels trained to keep watch over the expansive seas, much like Talos once had. This newfound dedication to vigilance bonded the people, instilling a sense of collective guardianship. With each watchtower completed, the spirit of the island grew stronger. Cretan craftsmen, known for their skill, crafted statues in Talos' honor, filling the island with bronze figures that mirrored the giant's protective stance. Each statue was a testament to the lessons of endurance and watchfulness taught by their fallen guardian. These sculptures, standing solemnly along ridges and at the edges of villages, served as comforting reminders of the past, connecting the Cretans to their storied history. As Crete adapted to its new reality, Europa encouraged innovation, fostering a culture of community reliance and self-sufficiency. She saw opportunity in the island's situation and urged her people to embrace creativity and unity. The Queen's leadership prompted collaborations among artisans, farmers, and soldiers, promoting a network of mutual support that fortified the island's defenses beyond expectations. In this period of transformation, Crete looked beyond its shores, forming alliances with neighboring regions. These alliances were not only strategic, but also enriched the island with diverse cultural exchanges. The opening of trade routes brought fresh ideas and resources that revitalized Cretan life. With the goods and knowledge that arrived by sea, Crete became a hub of cultural and economic activity, its people spurred onward by the promise of a secure and prosperous future. Even in this time of change, the memory of Talos remained a cornerstone of Cretan society. Tales of his watchful protection were passed down through generations, becoming woven into the fabric of Cretan identity. Such stories were not idle tellings, but served as a beacon of inspiration and a call to maintain the spirit of protection that Talos embodied. For the Cretans, the myth of the Bronze Guardian served as a constant reminder of the importance of vigilance and community strength. As the island thrived, bronze statues of Talos continued to be molded, capturing the imagination of artisans who saw in them a bridge between the past and the future. These creations stood not merely as silent sentinels, but as symbols of resilience and transformation. The artisans, driven by a shared vision, poured devotion into their work, ensuring that Talos's presence, though physically gone, remained vibrant in the hearts of the people. With each passing season, Crete moved forward, embracing the lessons learned from their once eternal guardian. The spirit of innovation and alliances crafted a robust society that stood strong against future challenges. The islanders discovered new strengths and capabilities, integrating the wisdom of their mythic past with aspirations of their evolving present. Talos's legacy did not end with his fall. Rather, it marked the beginning of a new journey. The people of Crete, inspired by his memory, carved out a future defined by unity, resilience, and a connection to the stories that had once shaped their world. As they gazed upon the horizon, the Cretans felt prepared, armed with the knowledge that true guardianship lay not in bronze alone, but in the enduring spirit of its people. The tale of Talos lived on, echoing in the hearts of those who walked the paths he once patrolled. As the island of Crete gradually adapted to the absence of its stoic protector, Talos, his legacy began weaving itself into the intricate fabric of the island's cultural identity. The stories of the bronze giant, forged in the divine fires of Hephaestus and standing vigilant for so long, became cautionary tales intertwined with pride, carried on the lips of storytellers and elders throughout the land. These tales lingered like a gentle sea breeze, ensuring that every young mind that heard them knew of the gigantic guardian who once patrolled their shores. Children across Crete listened wide-eyed as tales of Talos's unwavering strength and loyalty were recounted by their parents and elders. These stories painted vivid images of Talos calmly circling the island, his mighty form against the azure skies, ready to protect them from threats unseen and unknown. The young ones, hearing of his towering presence, could almost imagine feeling the ground lightly tremble with his passage, as if their protector walked close by, still watching over them. Artists and poets found inspiration in the enduring tale of Talos. With skilled hands and heartfelt words, they immortalized the Guardian saga in their creations, ensuring that the visual and lyrical representations of his feats echoed throughout Crete and beyond. Paintings depicted his majestic stance under the glow of the sun or the mysterious hues of twilight, while poems captured the rhythmic strength of his threefold daily journey. Through their artistry, they not only celebrated Talos, but also revitalized the cultural heartbeat of Crete, which had long drawn strength from his myth. Historians, both local and from distant lands, engaged in spirited debates about the origins and deeper meanings of Talos's mythology. Was he merely a construct of necessity, a metaphorical embodiment of protection, or did he symbolize more? A bridge between the realms of the divine and the technological prowess of mortals? The discussions illuminated the complex tapestry of human imagination, where simplicity intertwined with profound mystery, inviting reflection on the role myths play in the collective consciousness. The concept of a bronze guardian, emblematic of vigilance and dedication, began to inspire other myths and tales across the Greek world. Other cultures saw in Talos a reflection of their own guardians, tales of beings tasked with watching over humanity's precious corners of the earth. New stories blossomed, borrowing from Talos, resonating with themes of protection and undying loyalty. This interconnected web of legends enriched the ancient world's narrative landscape. Visitors who came to Crete found themselves captivated by the legend of Talos. As they wandered through bustling marketplaces and tranquil squares, the sight of statues and art depicting the bronze giant spoke to them of Crete's rich heritage. This mythical intrigue painted the island with a mystical allure that drew scholars, adventurers, and artists eager to experience the land that once knew the heavy yet benevolent weight of Talos's eon. Watchful gaze. Inscriptions and monuments dedicated to Talos began to dot the landscapes of Crete, each one a tribute to his memory and the peace he once upheld. Whether etched on temple walls or carved into public edifices, these markers served both as a testament to his existence and as a reminder of the peace that a single protector could embody. These physical embodiments of his legend endured over time, echoing the values he once symbolized. The theme of protection, with Talos standing as its emblematic figure, remained central to Crete's ethos. The Cretans, now stewards of their safety, embraced the spirit of guardianship, ensuring that the lessons learned from Talos's vigil continued to guide their actions. Whether through community cooperation or by fostering strong bonds with their neighbors, they built a resilient society inspired by the watchful giant whose memory lingered in the air like a benevolent guardian spirit. As the shadows of ancient times brushed lightly over the island, the stories, art, and monuments of Talos stood as a testament to a once powerful figure whose vigilant spirit transitioned gracefully into the annals of myth. Talos's legacy, entrenched in the hearts and minds of Cretans, became a vital thread in the larger tapestry of myth and reality, binding Crete to an enduring sense of protection and unity. In the quiet halls of an ancient library, the air was thick with the scent of old parchment and the glow of warm amber oil lamps. Scholars from across the world gathered around a central mosaic table layered with scrolls and texts. These scholars were united in their purpose, to discuss the enduring story of Talos, the bronze guardian of Crete, and his place within the pantheon of global myths and legends. The conversation began with an exploration of the universal themes that Talos embodied. His tale was not merely one of bronze and guardianship, but a reflection of the age-old human desire for protection and security. The scholars noted how the figure of Talos transcended his metallic form, symbolizing the eternal human yearning for safety against the uncertainties of the world. In his story, Talos embodied the watchful protector, vigilant and unwavering, a motif echoed in tales from diverse cultures. As discussions deepened, connections between Talos and other cultures' protective deities were drawn. The scholars compared him with legends from lands far and wide, each boasting their own unique guardians. Yet, common threads ran through these stories. The symbolic use of metal, often seen as unyielding and strong, was a universal method of portraying endurance and permanence. In these varied tales, metal became a metaphor for resilience, a trait personified perfectly by Talos, whose bronzed body withstood the ebb and flow of time and tide. Talos also found parallels among other mythical giants and guardians. In Norse traditions, the Jotnar, with their colossal forms and powerful presence, held similarities with the giants of Greek myth, including Talos. Both powerful and often misunderstood, such creatures occupied a space between the divine and the mortal, bridging realms and standing as sentinels over the known world. Talos, crafted by the hands of Hephaestus, was a testament to divine engineering, yet his task was intimately connected with the mortal realm he was sworn to protect. The enduring fascination with divine protectors became a subject of keen interest. Mythologists pondered what drew civilizations back to these stories time and again. In many ways, be it through giants of metal or stone, myths represented a bridge between humanity and divinity. Talos' legend, in particular, served as a reminder of the gods' enduring presence and influence over mortal affairs. Through tales like his, entire generations found solace and understanding of their place within the universe. Artistic interpretations of Talos have shifted over time, reflecting changing perceptions and contexts. From ancient sculptures to modern reinterpretations, artists continually breathe new life into his story. These evolving depictions speak to humanity's changing relationship with technology and faith. As tools in society advance, so do our myths, adapting to mirror our current understanding while retaining their intrinsic core messages. In academic circles, Crete itself has become a site of study, drawing mythologists worldwide. The island's rich history offers fertile ground for exploring the interplay between legend and reality, divine and mortal. It serves as both crucible and canvas, where stories of gods and heroes intermingle, echoing through the corridors of time. The scholars concluded with a reflective meditation on how Talos' tale integrates into the broader cosmos of mythology. His story acts as a binding thread within the tapestry of global folklore, a testament to the shared human experience and the narratives we build to make sense of our world. Talos reminds us of the ancient yet ever-familiar struggle to understand and govern the unknown. In his bronze form lies the essence of myth-making, the creation of stories that, while otherworldly, are deeply rooted in our collective consciousness. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the library, the scholars packed away their scrolls. The discussions would continue, much like the eternal watch of Talos himself, never truly ending, only pausing momentarily before the next chapter unfolded. As the myths of old have always shown, the story of Talos, the bronze guardian of Crete, holds a silent yet profound resonance through the ages. A watch unyielding, even amid time's relentless flow. The tale of Talos, steadfast in his duty, signifies more than just the vigilance of a solitary guardian. It is a reflection on the eternal theme of protection, a concept as old as Crete's rolling hills beneath the starry sky. It speaks to the quiet strength that myths offer, providing comfort and guidance for those who find themselves adrift in life's turbulent seas. In Crete, where Talos once stood vigilant, the island continues to thrive, nourished by the memory of its bronze defender. His presence, though now ethereal, lingers in the land's heartbeat. Stories of his dedication and unwavering loyalty to his duty are told as soothing lullabies, whispered into the ears of children as they drift into sleep. Parents recount the mighty guardian's watch, painting images of a past where a colossal figure circled the coast, eyes ever watchful against the crash of waves upon the shore. These tales, woven with care, nurture a sense of security that extends beyond physical vigilance, embedding strength and courage within younger generations. Artifacts and narratives persist, keeping the essence of Talos alive as a cultural touchstone. Bronze sculptures and relics still capture the imaginations of visitors and inhabitants alike, serving as silent reminders of the giant once forged by the hands of Hephaestus. In every chiseled line and reflective surface of these works, his story is encapsulated, forever entwined with the identity of Crete. The people hold festivals in his honor, celebrating not just the guardian but the ideals he represents: strength, protection, and unwavering resolve. With each festival, the memory of Talos is rekindled, his story growing ever more integral to Crete's cultural tapestry. As lanterns illuminate the night, tales of the bronze giant's vigilance are recited, forming a bridge between the world of the past and the present lived reality. These celebrations reaffirm Talos' symbolic significance, invigorating the sense of guardianship that underpins the community. Imagine, if one could glimpse through time, how Talos might view the world he once safeguarded. Would he marvel at the way Crete has blossomed, its people continuing his legacy through their own acts of protection and connection? The landscape, though altered by ages of change, would still be familiar. The rhythm of the ocean, the whisper of the wind against the trees, and the laughter of children, all carrying echoes of his eternal watch. And so, the story finds its gentle conclusion. As stars blanket the Cretan sky, silent witnesses to the island's ongoing saga, one cannot help but admire the enduring presence of Talos in the hearts of those he once guarded. Despite the ebb and flow of time, his myth endures, offering a peaceful assurance that even in change, some truths remain steadfast. The watchful gaze of Talos transcends the bounds of legend, becoming a timeless vigil that remains as a source of comfort and inspiration. As one reflects on Talos's eternal role, a sense of serenity prevails, assuring that, within the tapestry of myth, his watch endures, unending and ever-present. While the world turns and stories weave anew, the presence of the Bronze Guardian remains, a testament to the resilience of myth and its power to protect and inspire through the ages.